Hi, I'm Megan Storty, and today I'll be talking about the quiz module in Moodle. So first, we'll take a look at why you might want to create a quiz in Moodle. Then we'll move on to some of the options available in Moodle, and we'll talk about the pros and cons. Then I'll show you what a student sees in Moodle, so you can see what a real quiz looks like. So first, let's talk about some of the things you might do with a quiz in Moodle. Of course, there's always the traditional assessment. You might want to do a timed quiz or test. You can do that in Moodle with the timing set to however many minutes you'd like, as well as the days you'd like the student to take the test. You could also do an assignment, though, through the quiz module, where a student is allowed to retake the assignment for more and more credit. Okay, this is great if you want the whole class to reach a certain benchmark. Third option you might want to consider is using it for a test review. If you have 30 or 40 multiple choice questions, Moodle is a great place to put those questions with some feedback. So students can work through those on their own and see exactly where their learning is complete and where they need to do a little bit more work. You can provide feedback for the correct and incorrect responses. So let's talk about some options. You can include just about any type of question in Moodle, from multiple choice to matching, essay, numerical for math questions, as well as others. You can also give extensive feedback. Perhaps you want to talk about correct answers or incorrect answers. Perhaps you want to give feedback to the entire class or to students reaching a certain grade level. You can do that. Another nice option in Moodle is that questions can be imported, or you can type your own, okay, depending on your preference and the type of questions you're looking for. Finally, you have the option to include photos, charts, and math symbols in your questions, so you can ask just about anything. Let's look at some of the pros and cons. I like using Moodle because the quiz module is integrated. Students don't have to go to an outside website to take a quiz. It's also nice for students to get instant feedback. They get their quiz graded immediately under many question types, and that gives them a good sense of how they did. For the instructor, that's also nice to have an automatic grading system. The big negative about Moodle is that it is time-consuming to initially enter the questions and set up the quiz. It won't be as fast as doing a paper and pencil test, but some of the benefits may outweigh this drawback. So here is the student view. What you see in front of you is an example quiz, and not much else in the Moodle at the moment. So we'll go ahead and click on the example quiz. Now you would name your quiz whatever is appropriate for your class, and you could input some instructions here, as well as a time limit and when the quiz opens and closes. I'm going to go ahead and attempt the quiz now so that you can see what a student sees. Now I get a little warning pop-up box because this quiz has a time limit and it says it's limited to one attempt. So it's just warning me that this is kind of my last chance here to cop out of the quiz. So I'm going to say OK and go ahead and take it. So first, a few things you'll notice that the student has. In the left-hand corner is the time remaining. So it started at 15 and is now counting down. As I scroll down, that time remaining stays with me. So I can see the time no matter what question I'm on. I'll go ahead and answer the first question. What does LOL stand for? I'm going to answer several of these incorrectly so you can see exactly what options are available. So I'll put laughing for LOL. I know it's something about laughing, but maybe I'm not quite sure what. At this point, I could submit an answer here with a button, or I can wait and submit the entire page. I'll go ahead and wait. The second question is a multiple choice. Which of the following is a citrus fruit? I'll go ahead and answer that correctly as lemon. The third question is a numerical question. I'm going to answer this one incorrectly as well. 2 times 6, I'll put 8 there, not 12. Now, numerical questions have number answers, but can also have some error range as well. And the fourth question is an essay. Write a paragraph describing your favorite cultural event. Now, I'll just write a sentence here. I'll say, I love the ballet. Now notice there's lots of options here for an essay or for anything else that would have a large text box like this. I can change the fonts, I can change the colors, I can add a hyperlink, a photo, a table, or any number of other items here. Okay, this is particularly useful for maybe a more complicated question. When I'm done, I can scroll down and go to Submit Page. What that'll do is it'll allow Moodle to grade anything that is gradable, and we'll see what some of the answers look like at that point. So after submitting page, in this example, it's showing me the answers. Now you can choose for students to see the solutions right away, or they can wait until everyone else has taken the quiz as well, depending again on what your purpose is for the quiz. So that first question is highlighted in yellow. That means partially correct. So I have a score down here, 3 out of 5, and partially correct. Okay, I don't have it set for anything else, so I don't have any additional feedback at this point. Number 2 is correct. All correct answers will be marked in green, and I had 5 out of 5 for that one. Number 3 is my first incorrect, and that's going to be marked in red. The other thing you'll notice about number 3 is that I have a line of feedback here. Oops, looks like you added instead of multiplying. You can add feedback for every incorrect answer or anything that you'd like to add feedback on. So perhaps there's a common mistake that students are making. That might be where you add a particular line of feedback. You can also add more general feedback, such as make sure to do XXX or something else encouraging to students. For the last question, write a paragraph describing your favorite cultural event. You'll notice that it's not graded. That makes sense because we don't expect the computer to grade an essay question. So for now, it'll just leave it blank, and the instructor would be able to manually grade the question. So when the student is done, they don't need to do anything else. It's already been graded and submitted to the instructor. So a few other items before we wrap up here. The instructor view allows you to do all of these options that we've discussed. You would enter questions into a question bank to begin with, and from there you would enter them into a quiz. I hope this has given you a nice idea of what you can do with a quiz, and maybe next time you're using Moodle in a class, you'll attempt to do a quiz as well.